The show you are about to listen to is intended for mature audience only. There will be things said that may not be appropriate for younger audience and may offend you. We at Whatever Talk would like to apologize in advance, but really, get over it.
What up, though, folks? Welcome to Whatever Talk, the show where we talk about whatever we seem to be talking about at the time. I'm your host, Donnie, and I got my man, Kev. How you been?
Man, I'm good. I'm Gucci.
Gucci? You good or you Gucci or you good in Gucci?
Good and Gucci.
Good in Gucci.
I'm Gucci good.
You Gucci good.
I'm Gucci good.
Gucci good.
For
Well,
sure.
I guess you don't get more Guccier than that then.
Right.
We talking about whatever that's on your mind. Speak your mind, don't be shy. This is your time to shine.
How you, bro?
I mean, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Just doing a whole lot of thinking as usual this week on this one particular thing we're going to be talking about. And it
hmm
kind of, it's going to be pretty conversational, I think, this particular episode because of that.
Okay.
I did a video or a talking to myself video on a belief system itself, like not you having a belief system, but belief system itself.
hmm
How it's flawed. How I think it's flawed because you believe in it. What I mean by that is that I was well. Let me just say where it came from. I was listening to this guy talk about flat Earth, and I gotta say, man, a belief system. I'm starting to think that a belief system is, or at least helps with the downfall of civilization to a certain extent. Like of course, I'm not even. I'm gonna try to exclude religion as much as possible out of this because, duh, that's flawed. Without a belief system itself, it's just flawed. Period.
hmm
But a belief system of almost various things. Various things. Of course, everything doesn't apply to everything. Of course, that. Listen to this guy talk about flat Earth. How I talk about how I think about humanity just act out life.
Yeah.
Now I'm just putting things in category up under acting out life, like people who speak the same dialogue because they think they have to speak the dialogue in this particular conversation or situation, or whether
hmm
you act a certain way. We call it showing off, or you act a certain way when you in certain situations just because you think you have to be that way versus just you doing what your best judgment or you being you. Period. In
hmm
my head, I just be putting them in categories, which that is somewhat of a belief system.
Yeah.
Also, hence why I feel it's flawed because, of course, it's not my perspective on a lot of the things, but it's just what I see on a often basis,
hmm
which was again flawed. Another category that I drop them in that we talk about on often is that people talk with the mentality that just because they're talking, they expect whoever they're talking to and or listening to them, they got the mentality that they got to believe them because they're talking or they're saying it. That one right there is wow. Like just because you're talking, that don't mean it is what it is.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
So therefore, you should not have the mentality that just because you're forming syllables that form words that form sentences, that don't mean it's the truth.
Right.
All that, again, my long-winded self on trying to explain some stuff, all that is coming up under this flat earther that we about to talk about. And I believe the podcast I was listening to is Flat Earth Research. I think that's the Balloon Podcast. I can't remember. Listen to this cat talk. This cat is a scientist, or he's going to school for, I forget what particular part of science, but it's dealing with, I think it's dealing with what we're about to talk about, or at least in the field, or in the radius of the field of what we're talking about. And he's talking to this guy. NASA have stated that the images that we see, pictures that we see from space, are not what space actually looks like. I've also read that in the past as well, that NASA have said a couple of things. I read that NASA have stated that the video to the moon, the supposed first mission to the moon, at least man-made, landed on the moon, was edited. But what people failed to leave out of that, they didn't say that the whole thing was shot here on Earth. They said pieces was reshot here on Earth. That's what you don't hear, or at least the article that I've read stated that. You know what? No, let me put a pin right there. Let me explain what I think a belief system is, because I'm beginning to think that the knowledge that we have, probably not our knowledge. Kind of piggybacking off the last recording when we had Obasan on, when we was talking about is sex a program thing, and if we were created, are our instincts actually programs? If you remember that conversation.
I do.
Yeah, so, and I was thinking about that. I was like, well, if that be, probably our own knowledge is probably not our own knowledge, because when we do research, we keep leaving out of the one thing that will prove this research to actually be properly implemented into your beliefs, which is the experiment part. We basically doing reading. We're reading literature. We're watching videos, and a bunch of literature and a bunch of videos on other people's research. It's not technically our research.
Nah, we researching their research.
Exactly,
Basically.
which
Yeah.
most likely is research on other people's research that they didn't research as well. Probably. Yep. But anywhere it goes, it's not really our knowledge. We're just reading this and then implementing that into our own beliefs as if it's a actual belief.
Right. A lot of people don't see it like that.
No, they just said, hey, I learned this today.
Right.
You read this today and came aware of this today, but did you actually learn this today?
Right. Yeah.
Listen to this cat had made me think about that even more, about this flat earth, because he is like wholeheartedly believing in this flat earth, even though he done absolutely zero experiments in the things that he's talking about. And you remember that other category under people acting out life that I subcategorize as confidence and certainty? I feel like confidence and certainty are confused with one another in society.
Yeah, I remember talking about that.
Yeah, so kind of like when we talk, like we're talking confidently in the subject we're talking about, but we're not talking certainty. We're not telling you, hey, yeah, this is how it is. This is how it gonna be. I mean, we're saying that, but we're not saying it in a certain context.
Right.
If you get what I'm saying.
Sometimes we do.
We do. Yes, we do.
It depends on the situation, I guess.
It depends on the situation, but I think that
we're referring to, like if it's really about us, then we know for sure. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, yo. You know what I'm saying? Yo, my motherfucking leg been killing me for the last couple of days. It's like, there is no question as, am I sure? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's about me. Nigga, I know. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And I'm glad you brought that type of example up, Cal, because again, here's another category that people that we have talked about as well, is that your Fisher Price can you got.
Right.
You just go sip on that Fisher Price can as if you not in front of a camera and like I ain't gonna notice that.
It's coffee, man. I ain't want to get too much.
Gonna bring out that fun size can of
Right. Take a whole hand like this. Okay, this is what I'm drinking.
Like, man, you playing, ain't nothing in your hand.
Right, that's like cartoons how they drink.
Yeah,
this is great.
exactly. It's like that is not practical. That is not practical to drink like that.
That nigga say you holding on to that motherfucker, ain't you? Say you really want. Ain't nobody gonna stick your shit, nigga. Loosen up, man.
Like, ain't nobody gonna take it.
Little Chris, tell this fool I ain't gonna take his ball.
Right. Little Chris. Tell this fool I ain't gonna take. Nigga said I got enough money to buy me 100 ball. Shit. You gotta add the shit. Like, you got enough money to add me 100 ball. Shit.
Exactly. People do not know when the end scenes. You gotta put that comma shit in there. That's when the scene ends. You just can't just say the dialogue. You gotta
Exactly. If you know what you're doing.
But speaking of that, the whole part is where I'm getting at to move the show along, is that I'm glad you used that particular type of example about your lead, is because it's another category that we talk about often that goes up under the criteria of people acting out life, is that people know what the heck you talking about, but they play like dumb as heck.
I saw myself holding that shit.
And I'm trying to keep going like I don't see you do it. It even seemed like you seem like you put it in position one time, like you bring it up, but then you brought it like, hold on. Okay. But people act like they don't know what the heck you're talking about, even though, again, we all use the same terminology.
True. We know what stuff means.
Exactly. We know what stuff means. And that's part of I feel like that's part of their tactic on trying to make you sound like you don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Even if it's close, even if it's close to what I'm talking about, like you know what the heck I'm trying to say, but you're gonna play dumb, and then later on say, "Wait a minute, are you trying to say blah blah?" Nigga, you know.
Right. Because we've all done it before, right? So you know what I'm saying? At some point, we've all done it to one of our teachers or our parent or somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? What are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Those be the people that we use it on, because we don't want to get in trouble by our teachers or parents. So we act like we don't know what they're saying, even though
we act like they're crazy. Right.
Exactly, of course. And people take that on in their everyday life as freaking grown people. Yeah. I'm like, come on, man. And who the retarded one
stuff
here?
Right there. Yeah, that right there. That made you want to smack somebody, bro.
I was just about to say that, like, that right there is the thing that gets you jawed.
Yeah, that type of shit. Like, man, like get away from me, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And then go say, what you do that for? Oh, now you still gonna go along with it after you're like that jaw didn't snap you out of it. You mean to tell me that jaw didn't snap you out of it? You still go play along.
Now at that point at that point
you do ask them like, okay, wait a minute, what was you talking about again? maybe you don't deserve that job. Okay, maybe I'm the
Right.
tripping one here.
That'd be crazy if a nigga do acknowledge that shit though.